Hi there, welcome. Thank you so much for being here today. I appreciate you joining me. Let's get you a little bit of clarity and see what's going on overall with the energy. I did do a little pre-pull from the personality cards, and it looks like there's a lot of messy energy, either surrounding a particular person, or this could even be messy energy or a lot going on inside of somebody. It's called the forgetful. So we're going to start here as the foundation. It is a timeless collective reading. See what feels like it resonates for you, and trust that divine connection that you have to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer is always in you. We're all psychic. Try to keep an open mind and open heart and make balanced decisions between logic and intuition so that your decisions are sound, based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we are all uplifted in love. Now, for some of you, this is not you. This is somebody else that's maybe just energetically a mess, emotionally a mess. It could be somebody that's got a lot of actual clutter around them. Maybe somebody who's a bit of a hoarder, even, that kind of looks like what that energy is representing. But it looks like even if this person was trying to find what they forgot, how are they going to find it in that mess? It's like their things are starting to just engulf them, squeeze them into, squeeze them into a position. So maybe somebody is in a tight squeeze. I do feel like for some of you, this is definitely an organization situation. Getting rid of the clutter that's gathering dust, the things that you have in your house that you forgot about because they haven't used it in 10 years. Do you really need it? Is there a way to donate something so maybe somebody else that could find use out of it can have it? I also feel like there's someone that just needs a little streamlining of their energy to think more clearly, maybe even hear themselves think. I am getting a bit of a procrastinator here. Somebody that's like, oh, I'll clean it tomorrow. I'll clean it, on Thursday. And they keep putting something off so much, they don't recognize the tension or, the pressure that's building around them. Maybe somebody feels a lot of pressure because they have a lot to do. In that case, sometimes it's just lessening the pressure and starting small. Start small. If it's an actual cleaning situation, start with a drawer, start with the dishes. Sometimes you start with something and it starts to, flow, and before you know it, the whole house is done. I also feel like some of you may be the one helping somebody that's in this situation. It could also be somebody's thoughts as well, not physical things. But if someone is always being kind of forgetful because their thoughts are always elsewhere, or their thoughts are like being so compacting to what they're trying to figure out that it's almost like somebody has to even meditate to just let go, allow something to flow, and all of a sudden maybe something will I hear rearrange itself. But I also feel like maybe for some of you, if there is something you're trying to decide or figure out, perhaps it's putting all your thoughts down, doing a little journal, trying to get more mentally clear about maybe all the options. It could even be, the pros, the cons, the possibilities in this direction, possibilities in this direction. I do feel like somebody's trying to figure out a solution for something, but this energy just kind of feels cluttered and overwhelming to me. Like you can't even get to the bedroom of this house. I guess for symbolic purposes, maybe some of you want to travel, or you've had plans that you could almost spherically see, but you never booked the ticket. For some of you, maybe it's a map that you lost long ago. I'm getting kind of that like rebooting of the GPS where you were using the old map, but maybe there was territory that's changed. There's a new road, there's a new thing that's come about as something has progressed through time and you're still going by the old map. I'm getting that somebody needs a reboot, even a total restart to factory settings. It feels like, the cache or the clutter that builds up in even a phone or a computer or something like that, and all of a sudden something isn't quite working. You know, it's like freezing on your screen, or it's not handling the programs properly. Maybe it's also for some of you an unlearning. You know, if you were programmed to always think a certain way, maybe you have to really unlearn that information to make room for maybe a better way, maybe some new information. I do feel like there has to be an adaptability or flexibility in that case. Also, maybe somebody has been holding off, you know, on making a important phone call here. I do kind of like how they very, very coyly put the baseball right in a interesting location there, sitting on the shelf. So maybe maybe this takes some balls or some guts or some confidence for somebody to really tackle into. I feel like for a lot of you, it's just starting. That's the hardest thing. Also, there's an umbrella of protection. Maybe there was a rainy situation. And also there's a golf club here. Maybe some of you golf. Maybe there's even something that you've kind of put away, stashed in the closet that you loved to do at one point, but you haven't attended to or forgot about for a very long time. I feel like some of you need to pull out the dusty golf club, or, you know, the dusty ukulele, or that old painting you never finished, you know, your paints, and get back to a project or get back to an activity that you always did enjoy, but you haven't done it in forever. It's almost like you forgot how much fun it was. So let's get more clarity. Let's do this one. This is the wisdom of the oracle. Let's get a little clarity on the forgetful. If I keep looking at the phone, so if you feel like someone's forgotten about you, or you haven't had communication in a while, you know, that line has just been on hold for a very long time. I feel like somebody is maybe figuring out a messy situation. I don't feel like they meant to forget about you. For some of you, there could be somebody that meant to try to forget about you, but I don't think they did. But I feel like if that's the case and they've been really holding, I keep seeing that telephone line, like holding on the wire, you know, really knowing they need to reach out and communicate. It's almost like the longer they hold, the more stress they feel, and the weirder that opening, hello, how are you? Haven't heard from you in a while. What's going on is. So let's clarify. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Christ consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. Tell us about the forgetful. It's telling you to breathe. I mean, it does look like there's a lot of dust here. If you don't know what to do, if you do feel swallowed and overwhelmed, just breathe. I just thought of that song by Telepop Music. I actually really like that song. It has those kind of cool, like, computer weird sounds in it. I'll put that below for you. Maybe you're the one that comes in as a peaceful energy. If somebody's overwhelmed here, like, just breathe. It's okay. Just stop for a minute. We got this. Let's start with step one. And my mom likes to say it just bird by bird. You know, if you can't handle the whole flock at once, bird by bird, you know, step by step. I also feel like this has to do with that reboot, recharging, and revitalizing your energy. I'm getting all the re's, like redoing, rekindling, restructuring. Maybe even I heard revival, reviving something, but I'm almost getting a reunion. So maybe some of you are reconnecting with somebody from your past, or something from your past. But I feel like if you're tapping into something that was the old you, you're not doing something the same way. I'm totally getting like renewal. I'm getting reinvention. I'm getting all these re's. I don't know, I just thought of the name Reese. Reese. I actually heard Rod. So let's see. Clarity on. Got a rose hair stuck to my lip. What is another message on breathe and the forgetful? I keep hearing that song now. Well, this looks like it's the perfect card to come through with this. It's chopping wood, getting to it step by step, cleaning your house, picking up the broom, getting rid of the trash. I am getting that there is something that was sitting around so long you didn't even know it was getting smelly. You know, when there's let's just say somebody is really used to a certain smell. I'm getting like an old sandwich or something that was, I don't know, the kids stashed in the closet. Or let's just say it's like, I just saw like teenagers going to, you know, the game and having their like old sweaty socks shoved in the closet. It's like, ooh, you know, someone walks into the room, they're like, oh man, what is this smell? What is that smell? It's like they were in the room so long they didn't even notice that there was a smell. So I'm sort of getting that there may be an outside source that has a better sense of what is fishy or going on or kind of rotten in the corner a little too long. They're like, hey, you want me to help you take out that trash? That might freshen the situation up a little. So I feel like once that is done, that helps with that breathing thing. And that could be anything. That could be, you know, something that you were holding on to that is from the past, that is no longer useful. The trash, that's the same thing with the phone is what I'm getting. Maybe you have to empty your trash. It just makes me think of when I have too many videos in my phone and then I try to do a reading and halfway through it's like, you don't have any more room, even though I have the biggest iPad or iPad and iPhone available. That's how many videos I have. So sometimes I just have to delete. But then remember, you can't just delete something. You actually have to do that extra step. Empty out the old trash. The other message with this chop wood is to just do what you have to do. Sometimes there is a situation that just has to be handled, taken care of. I just thought of, you know, when you get a cord of wood delivered, I think that's what it's called, when you get like a big bunch of wood. They call it a cord, I think. But that also makes me think of a chord in music. And you know, the right harmony. And if something is kind of off, you know, somebody played the one wrong note in a chord, it's going to make something, you know, kind of feel like it's irritating. So maybe there was an energy, a person, a mindset, one thought that somebody was having, and it was like that weird note in a chord that was making something not sound right, not feel right, not be in the right harmonious frequency. So it's also number, I did not bring my glasses. Let's see if we can do this without the glasses today. It's number 42 and 29. So let's keep that, but let's get a tarot to clarify. Let's get a tarot from the Art of Life. What is one blending or bridging message between breathe, chop wood, and the forgetful? I just see an energy cleanse with that chop wood. I also feel like there's something about an open door or a door opening up that feels like a great opportunity. I'm also getting that it says chop wood. Isn't there a song called Knock on Wood? I can't hear it though. Also, maybe it's that kind of situation. Someone's like, no, don't even say that. Like, they knock on wood. Also, if you are a little superstitious, don't knock down on the wood. This is something I heard long ago. And I know it's kind of weird, but I always do it now. Knock up, you know, I don't have it. I don't have wood here. It's plastic, but knock up on the wood, because otherwise the wood gnomes get a little irritated that you're knocking on their head like, hello, McFly. They like you to knock up. And it's more, apparently it's proper for the gnomes. So I'll just pass that along. Maybe you'll remember that. Maybe somebody's kind of superstitious. Maybe it's changing that superstition into, I don't know, I'm getting just more of a spiritual light. You know, if somebody is putting a superstitious energy on everything and they're believing anything that maybe is kind of a lower vibration, it's changing it, you know, it's changing something around. I just thought of like if glass breaks, it's like, oh no, the glass broke. But then there's also the way you can look at glass breaking, that it's breaking like an energy curse. So it's all how you look at something. I feel like there's a brighter approach to something you were seeing before. You know, like some people are like, oh, don't let the black cat pass, you know, in front of you. But then you can look at the familiar energy of a black cat, and they are tapping into the spiritual realm and protecting us to see vibrations and energies that the normal human doesn't see. So maybe it's just switching something around in a belief system. I don't know why I'm getting that. Like I see somebody opening up an umbrella inside. Also, it's just what you attach to. Anything that you attach to, you give it power. So it's like if somebody doesn't want to open the umbrella up inside because it's bad luck, maybe somebody else opens up the umbrella inside or under the porch so that they, you know, don't get wet on the way out into the storm. Or maybe somebody's doing some kind of art. I just see somebody doing a dance with an umbrella. Of course I would go there. Like I see like a really pretty umbrella and you're doing like I don't know, what is that kind of dance where they have the ribbons that they do in the Olympics? You know, somebody's doing, I actually just saw burlesque. Hey, if you are a burlesque dancer and you are doing a routine that involves an umbrella, you open that up in your house. You're going to have some luck at your show. I'd go to see you. Maybe some of you do something like that. I know that's an extra message, but I don't know. I think that's kind of fun. Maybe you're just doing a burlesque dance for your honey, guy or girl, doesn't matter. You come home, you have like a, what is that? What is the dancer, the dude? I can't think of the name of that movie at all. The guy that like dances. I'm going to find the scene that he does in, you know what? It's going to bother me. I'm going to look. Hold on one second. Oh, I can't pause you. I don't know how to pause my iPad. So let's keep going. But the guy that dances in the convenience store, and the girl has a stoic face, and they're like, dude, man, you can get her to crack a smile. And he's like, I don't know, I'll go in there. Magic Mike, I think that's the movie. And the girl's like, you know, and he does the like sexy dude dance. He like takes the water bottle and like squirts himself with a water bottle and like dances around the gas station convenience store in his jeans and like puts it on himself, and finally at the end she cracks a smile and they're all outside like, yeah. I just love that scene. I think it's fun. So maybe there's something like that. Maybe it's about, you know, getting a smile out of the stoic face. Maybe you gotta really be outlandish and a little extra goofy and confident to get that smile. Oh, the messages that sometimes come through here. Okay, let's go. What else? I mean, it'd be hard to do a burlesque or sexy dude dance if you've got that much stuff around. You better clean out the clutter and have some room for the dance floor in your living room. Oh my goodness. All right, what is a message? What is an extra message? What would be helpful for the collective to know? Please and thank you. You got the tower. Oh, I mean, I did see kind of a dancer. It does look like that person was on a trapeze. I just thought of like the yoga that they do. That's kind of, it's more like aerial silks with yoga. Maybe some of you do something. Maybe there's also a tower moment. I mean, it looks like if this stuff was building up for a long time and you finally like opened up that closet, it's going to all fall down. If it all falls down, you're going to leave it on the floor and trip on it for the rest of your life, or you're going to clean up that mess. If it all falls down, maybe somebody's having a big old epiphany moment that they're like, oh my God, I was looking for that thing like 5 years ago. I forgot I was even looking for it, or that it existed. Didn't know it was shoved in the closet with all the other shit. So there's something where something is found, something is revealed because it was too swallowed in energy, or, I don't know why I just heard merchandising. That was weird. Clutter of some kind, stuff. It's that like shoving something under the rug or under the bed and pretending it's not there. If somebody has been pretending to forget that something is not there, but fully aware it's there, the elephant's coming out from under the bed. I'm actually getting that somebody has to address the monster in the room, whatever that is. It doesn't have to be a scary monster. It can be like, it can be like Monsters Inc., like Kitty, I'm kind of getting that. But something needs attention. Something needs to be addressed. The tower takes you to the start, takes you to healing. It takes you to a wish come true, but you got to get through that tower moment. Sometimes that tower moment is thrown on in by God and the universe because something wasn't being attended to. Something was wobbling and somebody just kept sticking more and more duct tape on something, and eventually that duct tape is not going to hold this particular situation. A tower can also be a good tower. It can be where something just out of nowhere appears in your life. But if that happens and it's the appearance of something wonderful or someone wonderful, or it's an open door or opportunity, there's still tremendous change that happens, or a big adjustment that needs to occur first, a transition that has to go on for you to start to get closer to grasping that star. Because even if it's a beautiful transition, sometimes they're still a little awkward. You're moving from the house of clutter to the grand kingdom somewhere else, but you still got to get all your stuff over there, or leave all the stuff behind and just take what you need and go simple. Simplify that next situation. Now you have I keep seeing a kingdom or a castle, and I just see dance floors everywhere. I just saw like a music video where there's like different rooms that somebody is following somebody one camera with. Maybe some of you do film or videography, or you're a producer, or you're a dancer, something like that. I don't feel like there's cuts, if that makes sense. I feel like it's a continuous filming. I don't feel like it's something very long. It's not like you're filming a whole movie, but I feel like it's maybe a couple of minutes where it just goes from one room to the next room. Whatever that is, let's continue, because I know that's not for everyone. The tower could also be internal, either within you or within someone else, or maybe more than one of you. Because if somebody is suddenly having an epiphany or seeing something in a totally different way, I don't know, it can be like where somebody's mind is blown. I don't know why I just saw somebody I actually just saw somebody that has beautiful suits, or, gets really dressed up, and then, I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe somebody had a connection with somebody and they were never invited over to this person's house. This is a very specific message. It's not for everyone. But I feel like maybe there was suspicion involved. Like, why aren't you, you live with someone else? Why don't you ever want me over your place? Do you not think like your kids or your family or your neighbors are going to like me? And I feel like somebody was maybe taking it to the territory that was not actually the connection, because they didn't know they had to kind of create or invent something as the reason why they weren't being invited over. And that wasn't really the reason. I feel like somebody was a clutter bug. Somebody was kind of embarrassed that they, come across as very clean cut, and then you go to their house and it's a big old mess. And I kind of feel like there's maybe a tower situation, or maybe somebody has a situation where somebody, they have to like, hey, like, I'm running into a little problem over here. Could you come over and help me? And they maybe have to break that mold of not letting you over. And somebody comes over and they're like, oh, I see. No, I'm not getting that this is like the show hoarders kind of situation. I feel like it's more somebody's kind of personal embarrassment. Maybe they just don't have time to clean. This person's really busy. Maybe they live with people that make a mess. But I kind of feel like there's no judgment. I actually feel like somebody is coming in. They're like, okay, I'm going to come back tomorrow. I'm bringing my cleaning supplies. And my sister, who knows how to clean better than anyone, I'll pay her for you. She's going to help us. We're going to get this under control. And I do feel like once somebody gets something under control or has that change where they get to feel the energy being different, I do feel like somebody is able to maintain it. I don't feel like somebody wanted to get into that clutter situation. It just kind of, before they knew it, overwhelmed them. And that could also be that internal tower. That was just sort of an energy example. What does not destroy me makes me stronger. Well, that's the truth. So there's something about a situation coming through that probably is a rough road, probably a messy, hard situation, but it was to give you strength. It was to, for some of you, even get you to rebuild somewhere different. If the foundation was just not working. That could be a partnership, that could be a job, that could be a situation, that could be an actual environment. But if something just wasn't ever working, you know, it wasn't ever growing properly, it kept falling down, or that fall down was extra big, then you have to take what you've learned from that, utilize that strength that you've gained, and sometimes just completely start over fresh somewhere else. I don't know why I saw somebody's basement flooding. I hope that's not happening to anyone. Maybe some of you, maybe because I got that call. You know, I heard somebody like needed help. And maybe there was a situation, maybe that even happened in the past where I see somebody's basement kind of flooding. And that can be really actually disastrous. That's a big old mess to clean up. I feel like you need to get some professional cleaners to suck out all that water, but often all the stuff that could have been in the basement is just kind of destroyed. It does make me think of, you know, recently going to the beach, and a lot of those houses only have an empty garage underneath, and they're on a certain kind of structure that is required for stilts so that, you know, waves come washing in. It maintains the structure of the house. But sometimes you don't really know what those restrictions should be until there's something that's been swept away. So let's continue. Let's get you, I want to get you a message. Let's do a message. Let's go right to the spirit messages. What would be a helpful message on the tower? Breathe. Just breathe. If your tower's fallen down, if something happened, it's often to bring you something better. Just breathe. It's going to be okay. Even if in that ruckus it doesn't feel that way. You know, sometimes you have to take that junk drawer, dump it all out in the middle of the floor and really see what you have, get it organized, get rid of the junk you don't need. And I just heard find that lost key. Or maybe this cleanse is the key to something that was lost now being found. And that could be how you feel if it's a reinventing of yourself. Clarify the forgetful. Chopped wood. You have 2. And, oh, you know what? Right, let me see if I can do this because I don't have my glasses. I'm going to give it a go. Well, same thing. So your big message here is if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel like something is just swallowing you whole, breathe. Even if that's you at work, that's a lot of clutter or people or chaos or drama or pressure at work and you just don't know what to do, go take a bathroom break. 5 minutes of breathing can really help. You know, go on a little walk around the block, go get a cup of coffee and come back when your energy is changed. Sit in silence for a moment and listen. The answers you've been seeking are finally coming to you. Truly trust and believe that you're going to make it and be exactly where you need to be. We're on this journey with you. Hang in there. Look at that. hang in there. You might feel like you're falling, but Spirit's got a gigantic, like, trampoline pillow thing that's going to catch you if you feel like you're falling. And maybe it's also going to, boing, like, catapult you back up. It's not much longer. And then your other one is go back to the heart of who you truly are. That's maybe why I saw all the the heart of the matter, the heart of who you truly are, what you truly love, you know, what your soul's desiring. There you will find peace. Look at your life in its entirety. Not, you know, when your closet fell apart, or a relationship fell apart, or you think you lost your job but didn't know there was a new one around the corner that's about to be offered to you, that maybe you'll be happier at. Acknowledge old wounds. That's the monster under the bed I saw. Acknowledge old wounds and then release them. Use what they taught you as added strength. Same message. What does not destroy me makes me stronger. So you're getting stronger. Use what they taught you as added strength. Keep moving forward. That's my mom saying, bird by bird, step by step, and with a renewed sense of confidence. You know, you've handled tough situations before. You can do it again, and you're going to do it better and different this time around. So let's do one more. I have to kind of get going today, so we're going to make this a little bit shorter of a reading. But what is one more necessary energy and message to know to clarify that tower? One more, please, and thank you. Rose just got comfy. One more message, please. Of course it's not one more, you got two. 7 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, King of Swords. Maybe this is getting logical, making plans, being realistic, maintaining an open mind. It looks like this person has all of their medals from probably tough situations or handling a lot. And yet there's those crystal balls back there tapping into the ethereal energy. So there's something about logic being great, but sometimes logic doesn't make sense if it's not connecting to the truth of one's heart. Sometimes logic, if you're tapping into the spiritual realm, might not make any sense at all. You know, somebody's trying to have the scientific approach to something that might be more alchemy, more energy, maybe absolutely natural, but seems to be supernatural because we just haven't figured it out yet. We don't have the proper tools to measure it yet, but we do, because the tools, usually us, we are the connection to spirit. So this could be a Gemini, Aquarius, Libra energy. This king sometimes is, you know, a really good communicator, but sometimes I'm getting someone that is actually ignoring, because I see that telephone line now, ignoring a truthful conversation. It could also be where if this king is only in his own mind, he's not hearing that outside, unlearning it kind of energy to tap into something new that may adjust how he actually is thinking or what he's actually focused on. It could also be that this king is overwhelmed by everybody chiming in their opinion and everybody's, you know, say on what's happening, that he forgot to hear himself think. He's usually very smart, very intelligent, very logical, but sometimes too much so. Because I feel like there's a situation here where kind of logic is thrown out the window. It could also be somebody trying to really make a solid decision or wanting to have communication, but because of energies around them or decisions that were wrong, because 7 of Cups is like illusion, delusion, confusion, not knowing what to choose. Do you choose that or do you choose that? You go with the one that energetically feels the best. And sometimes that's not the logical approach. But if you go with something you thought connected to you energetically, and then you hold on to that decision, that choice, and it feels off, it feels like something wasn't right, put it down and delete that option, and now you have less to choose from. But to just sit there looking at all the choices and not actually choosing is just where somebody gets more and more overwhelmed in presumptuousness. Well, that could have happened if you went that way. Or, I don't know, if you went with that choice, it could have been this, this, or this. Or maybe there would be a success with that choice, but what would happen? What, why? You know, it's not actually making the choice and grasping onto it. You know, sometimes that 7 of Cups is looked at as the 7 deadly sins. 7 days of the week. I keep seeing 7. That also reminds me of the Chariot, which is a spiritual path of destiny and victory. Maybe somebody's afraid to choose because they did choose wrong in the past. They don't want to make the wrong choice again. So they're sticking with the choice they know, but not happy with it. It could also be that somebody was choosing poorly because outside circumstances or people were chiming in on what the best choice for them is. Maybe that's the best choice for someone else, or what somebody believes is the best choice for another individual. But if it's not actually grooving with the person's truth, it's not the right choice. So there could be energies that were creating confusion in a situation. Sometimes I also see that 7 of Cups as kind of forgetful, where somebody gets sidetracked a little bit. I always get that weird example where somebody went to the store to get spaghetti sauce, and then they hear the announcements, we have this on sale over here, or they got, you know, enamored by the pickles in another aisle, and they go home and they're like, oh my God, I went to the store all for spaghetti sauce, and how to come home with all this other shit I don't need. I didn't even get the spaghetti sauce. How am I going to cook spaghetti today? Can't cook it with pickles. That'd be weird. I mean, maybe you could. So there's something where if somebody was forgetful, because there were distractions, whether created on purpose or accidental, then somebody has to get rid of that distraction, maybe get organized, make themselves a list, and make sure they get the spaghetti sauce first. I also feel like sometimes that's where, you know, somebody sees something, like I'm getting that spaghetti sauce thing, like they see it's on sale, you could get 25 of these or 1 of those. And you're like, well, you know, that's a lot. And then what if you get 25 spaghetti sauces and you hate it? Doesn't matter how many times you open up, you're not enjoying anything. Then what if you get the one that's maybe more expensive, and yet when you're eating that spaghetti and pickles, you are savoring every single bite. It was so well worth it because of the quality. And maybe you go back to the store another time and that quality spaghetti sauce is on sale, and that's when you get 20. So with the 3 of Pentacles, it's where you want to feel valued. Somebody's definitely dancing. Look at this. You got the, maybe somebody's going to the circus or Circus Olay, or doing some, you know, I just heard reggae. I don't know. Maybe somebody's doing like some cool like moves. I don't know. It does make me think of like the poi. To like maybe if you didn't know what kind of song to do, maybe you do a reggae song. That. Can I tell you guys a secret? Yeah, I'm gonna do it because I have a couple drummers I work with, and one of my favorite ones, he's more of a jazz drummer. He never had the weirdo want to do Bad Fish by Sublime. And we had to I was like, come on, you got that upbeat. So should I tell you this? I guess I got it now. So I explained it to him. I was like, just picture it like this. Just to make him smile. And he was like, just picture that, going on the upbeat. And now he always requests, he wants to do the reggae song every time. And he got that beat down, man. He just needed a visual that made him happy. Sometimes you just got to be a little goofy, Maybe it's how you teach. I'm not telling you to specifically lift your boobs to tell someone how to keep the beat, but something like that, Sometimes it's that goofy thing that's like the tower moment. You're never going to forget it, The reward of a thing well done is to have done it. You don't get the reward if you didn't do it. You don't hit the home run if you never stepped up to bat. You don't embrace the experience if you never stepped into the spotlight. To just think about it, you know, from afar, vicariously through the phone or the window, is not being in the experience. We're here to experience. So what do you want to experience? And if you were in an experience where you're not being valued, your time, you know, isn't appreciated, where you have a skill, whether it's walking on the high wire, you know, or playing the drum, or you are the best house cleaner in the world, whatever it is. If you're not being valued for your time, then you need to go where you're valued. Because this is where something can potentially build together or work together very beautifully, especially if it's building after something that's fallen down like a tower. So maybe somebody even has a totally different skill set than you, and that's what you need. Maybe you're the one with a skill set somebody else needs. It's like you're just the ticket they needed. The reward of a thing well done is just to have done it. It's the experience. It's not holding the trophy. So it's Ralph Waldo Emerson. Oh, I didn't even read this one. And this is, whoso loves believes the impossible. So if somebody was in this delusion that something wasn't possible, wow, I just went Cinderella on you guys. It's possible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage. And 4 white horse will never be, or 4 white mice will never be 4 white horses. Such falderald and fiddly-dee of courses. It's like somebody was trying to say like that couldn't possibly happen. That partnership couldn't possibly, you know, be loving and lasting. You know, that skill set that you thought of and you wanted to do as a career when you were 8 actually can't bring you any money. It's calling bullshit on the bullshit, especially if you're listening to anybody else's bullshit because they're in that suspicious or low vibration or lack mentality. This is you really tapping into your truth and not needing any outside validation for something you know to be true in your soul, or you are discovering step by step as you go. And with this, I bid you adieu. I think that's our message. I gotta skedaddle. I love you so much. I look forward to seeing you very soon. And I would just want to thank you for being here with me and joining me, being part of my soul family. I love you so much. Mwah. Bye.